morning,
Hello.
everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
It's again.
Hey, here we are again. It is July 1st. Isn't that awesome? That
No, I cannot believe it.
July 1st is the first Tuesday of the month.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Today is Tuesday.
And welcome to my girlfriend's quilt shop Embroidery Club, where we are doing Kimberbell's digital dealer exclusive Wallflower Mystery Quilt.
Get it all the words.
I know, we got to get them all in there. And we are doing the block for July. Okay, I'm Sandra.
I'm Kyle.
And we're going to be your entertainment today.
Yay.
So we're happy to be here to show you this block. It's not really a block.
No.
It's a border.
Yes. And I was so happy because I was like, oh, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, it is easy. It's a little time consuming the way that Kimberbell has it set up. But guess what? We're going to show you a couple of different ways. A couple of different ways to do this border or sashing.
Yeah, sashing.
It is between the blocks too. So yeah. So Kyle is going to start with out here, and she's going to teach us how to do it in the hoop. Okay. And guess what, Kyle?
What?
I have a new machine.
Oh, brother.
It is. Yeah, exactly.
Can we put some Disney guys on this?
Well, you
Probably
know what?
not.
Maybe. No, that has nothing to do with Disney today, so it's all good. But yeah, we are working on the Brothers Altair 2, and so I'm kind of excited. This is the first time I've worked on this machine.
Oh, well, I've never touched one before.
Well, this is it. This is
Yeah,
it.
nice.
Yeah. So
Looks pretty similar.
I think it looks very similar to what we're used to. So I'm sure we're not going to have any issues.
No, not with Sandra sewing.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Anyway, so first of all, we're going to show you how to do this in a 5x7 hoop, okay? And that's how we start
The piecing.
the piecing of the quilt block,
Right.
the sashings. So, Kyle, you're on.
All right, this is the July block, and I just printed out what I needed. It starts out, and note, you are not putting in your background quilting first.
Right.
You are not. So don't worry about that right now. So we're just going to go and we're going to find our template. Let me think what it is. We have two ways to do it. We've got block A and block B, right? I am going to work on block B because you have cut out your fabrics 2.5 inches by, was it 6.5? 3.5, sorry, 3.5 inches. So each one of these is 3.5 inches, and you need to cut out, was it 18?
Nine
Nine of each, okay?
Yeah, you need 9 lights and 9 darks.
Right, because on this one, we're only going to use 1 dark and 2 lights. And then on the A blocks, we're going to use 2 darks and 1 light, okay?
Correct.
All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to load our stabilizer. Well, we got our...
The template is on here.
It's on.
We're ready to go
That's
there.
all we need to do. I've got a 5x7 hoop with cutaway mesh.
Light mesh cutaway.
Light mesh, yes. Okay.
Oh, I guess I better thread
And
it.
because we're not doing the background quilting, we're going to follow along right with the steps. We don't have to figure out, that we're really on 7 where we're on 9 or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, this one is done a little bit different where you're not putting in your background quilting design first. You're going straight to the design.
And one other thing that they did not have us do was put any stabilizer on the backs of these.
No fusible backing.
No, which I kind of liked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you've got your 3.5 by 6.5 inch blocks or pieces of fabric.
And the first
You
thing...
are doing 2 at a time.
Right. And the first thing it's going to do is put a template right onto the stabilizer. And oh my gosh, what a template it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was like, wow, it stitches around them quite a bit.
Twice.
Yeah.
I'm going, yeah, what the heck is going on here?
Yeah, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's...
We got all day.
Exactly. We have all morning.
Yeah, all morning.
Yeah. It's so nice to see all of you here this morning.
Yes.
Has your summer been as busy as mine so
Oh my
far?
gosh, yeah. Well, I thought I had an appointment this morning at 6:30 a.m., 6:30 p.m., but luckily they fit me in.
Oh, man.
I never make them for night.
Well, not 6:30 at night, that's for dang sure.
I want to be home.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll do both templates, so you're doing 2 strips at once.
Right, and that's why your fabric is 6.5.
Yeah.
My grandson won his tournament baseball last night.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, pretty good.
And he's how old?
He's 10.
Oh, that's even better. They're so fun to watch, aren't they?
Yes, he's not chasing butterflies at this age.
Yeah. Much younger, and they're just out there going,
Oh yeah, having a good old
around.
time, sitting down. The design is, we're going to put together sashing. So this is what it looks like.
Yeah, when it's all said and done, you're due.
Oh, I got it upside down.
And you're going to do 3 of those.
Right. Because you've got two light colors and 1 dark. 2 darks, 1 light. 2 lights, 1 dark. 2 darks, 1 light. Look at that. So that's 3 of these sets put together.
Okay, Kyle, I've got my template on there.
All right.
Show them what it looks like.
Okay, here we go. And she did it with green. Can you see that? Maybe not. Let's see. Can you see that now? A little bit.
That's a little bit better.
Yeah, the other side's. Okay, so it's printed off 2 blocks that are exactly the same. 2 templates. So the next thing we're going to do, because I am starting with the light color, which you could do either one, you got to make 3 of them. Oh, that's better. You come prepared. There you go. So that's the template. So we're going to take our light color, because that's what I'm starting with, and I go over that just a little bit because it's pretty big. I just want to make sure my needle is going to go hit the fabric. So I'm just putting it on there, covering the top blocks, both of them. Spread them out across both of them. Did you tape yours down?
I did not.
I did not either. Okay, so we're going to put that in the hoop, or in the machine. Yep, see, on this, you've got to make sure you're bringing it down far enough. I didn't quite bring it down far enough, so be aware when you put it in there first. Don't line it up with that stitching.
And this is going to be a tack down line and a cut line.
Yes, yes. And it goes straight across, does both of them at the same time, which is not a big deal. It's kind of genius.
Kind of nice. Okay, and now I'm going to give that back to you. You're going to trim that up.
So this is, we've gone over the line. See, we went over the line about 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so now I'm going to trim that with the handy dandy Kimberbell double curved.
Oh, I forget. You should have brought your left-handed
I
scissors,
should have.
Kyle.
I should have. But look at how magical I am. Okay, and I just trim it pretty close. I lift it as I go. Is there a special?
Nope, that's exactly the way I do it,
That's
too.
what I do. And I cut it past the edges. Okay, so we're ready now to put our second block in, which will be the dark.
So does it do a placement line first?
Yes, it will. It'll do the placement line. Let's see, we are on blah, 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 blah. Okay, placement line, where are we at?
I'm on step number 3.
3, here we go. Okay, stitch the seam.
So I think that's your placement line.
Yes. Now what?
Yes.
Don't we have to?
Tack down,
Oh,
place, stitch,
okay, yes.
cut line,
Okay.
and placement line.
Okay, that stitch we just did, which is 1/4 inch below that, we're going to line our next piece of fabric right side down. Remember that, because we're going to do a flip. Okay, and I've lined it up on the stitch line. Make sure that you do not get it like this. You've got enough fabric to overlap, okay? But it's on that placement line. Right side down. Okay, and the needle goes 1/4 of an inch up from that tack down line. Then I get to do my favorite thing.
I know, isn't this the best?
Yes, it is. And I used to not iron them or use this marker or the pen. And you can really tell a difference.
You bet you can.
Absolutely tell a difference. Okay, so we've got our tack down line, our seam line. Okay, so I'm going to bring this down. Just don't pull on it, but I'm going to get out my handy dandy water soluble pen.
Oh, I put it on the underneath side.
Oh, you put it underneath?
Right along the seam line.
You're smart.
Right along the seam
That's
line.
all you need. See, I put mine on the top. Does it matter?
I don't think so. It
Probably
works both
not.
ways.
Yeah.
How's that work for you?
Well, it's working pretty darn good. Okay,
'Kay.
so we'll just flip that over.
Now, if you don't have a fabric folding pin, obviously you can just take that to the iron and press it. Obviously, you'll need to use a small iron, a small clover iron or your small Alysso irons, any of those just smaller irons you would need
Yeah,
to
you
press
want to
that
be
down.
gentle because you don't want this to come out of the hoop.
Right.
How do we know that?
Oh,
Okay, so notice that goes quite a ways down below the next block.
yeah. Okay, Connie is asking if we could use fusible backing. What's your thoughts on that, Kyle?
Why?
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
a little bit more expensive, isn't it?
Well, not only that, it adds a little bit more bulk. I don't think you have a problem as far, didn't have any issues as far as having any puckering at all.
You want it to look like quilting.
Yes, yes, I agree. You want a little bit of that fullness in it.
Because when you're done, you've got the stabilizer from this step here. Then you're going to put down your batting. And then you've got stabilizer when you hoop it to quilt it.
Correct.
So you've got plenty.
I think there's plenty of stabilizer, so I think you're good. Okay, so now I did a tack down line, but that's also going to be your placement line, but it's also going to be your cut line.
Okay.
So Kyle, you need to cut that.
Okay.
So really, I don't believe you need to use fusible backing.
No, if they
On
tell
these
me I don't
pieces.
need to, I don't.
Yeah. And
Because I just don't want that expense.
And Kimberbell's
They
pretty
got
good
it.
about it.
They got it. They do a lot of testing. Okay, so I cut pretty darn close. If you don't get that close, you're going to be okay.
Put your fabric down.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Okay, so once again, we're going to put it right side down on that line we just stitched and trimmed. And I've got it to the edges of my hoop. Okay, so we can do that. This is really, really hard. When I got done with this part, I'm like, oh, thank you, Sandra. You gave me an easy one.
This is a very easy procedure.
Yes.
The only thing about this is, how many times do we have to do this, Kyle?
Six
times.
Because you need 3 of these sashings, right? Yes. And there's 3 in each one. Wait a minute, so we need 9.
No, we only do this, because it does 2
Oh, yes.
on each one.
I'm not mathing very well. Okay, so we just did our line. That's our seam allowance. We're going to fold this back again. Oh, no, she does it underneath.
It's okay, you do
My
it your way.
fabric folding
You
pen.
do it your way,
I
Kyle.
want to be like you.
Oh, you do it your way, Kyle.
And sometimes it just drips out pretty good, and sometimes I just do it a little squeeze. Don't squeeze it continuously,
Yeah.
because you'll have a lot of water.
So what's it going to do now?
Now it's going to do the outside. Let's see, where am I at?
gonna
Okay,
do the
we are now to
Step number 6.
step number 6. Oh, it's the divide.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's the line up the center. Now, normally, what I would think they would do is that they would do a
Yes,
whole line around
yes.
it, and
But this is better.
this one here is very simple. Very simple. So now what it's going to do is it won't do a tack down line across the bottom. It's going to do a line up the middle, and then Kyle's going to show us how to cut these apart.
Yes, because I'm like a genius. Did you do all of your stitching first and then cut them apart?
I
Trim 'em?
did.
Yeah.
while one was stitching, I cut the other one, and yeah. Okay, it says I'm done.
All right, good
How
job.
simple is that?
This is a block, so now I can take it out of the hoop.
Yep.
But it looks like it's only tacked down right there, but it's not.
Okay, so now you take it out of the hoop, and we're going to.
Okay, so now it says we're trimming, let's see, remove the project from the hoop using a quilting ruler and marking pen. Oh, did you?
I didn't mark it.
No, me either.
I just used my ruler, and I think you're okay.
Yes, and this is a 3-inch ruler. And I'm just
Oh, how easy is
I
that
know,
one?
I know, isn't that great? I'm just putting
But
that.
doesn't it tell you to cut it from the back side?
Did it? No? Let's see. La, 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 la. Side vertical trimming is shown.
Oh, okay, maybe not.
Can do it either way.
You bet you can.
Because
You
you
got
can
the
see
same
that
lines.
mark. It's white underneath. I like the dark.
Okay,
I like the dark side.
okay.
Okay, and my ruler is a 3-inch ruler. Okay.
So it says to cut it 3 inches from your center line.
Yep. Oh, butter.
Oh,
Butter.
nice.
I like it. I like it. Okay. So I cut 3
It does
inches.
tell you to mark it and then to cut it. We're not marking it. We're
No.
just cutting it.
No, we're willy-nilly here. No, we're not. We follow directions. Okay, and then I flipped it over, and now I'm going from the center line again with the 3 inches. Okay.
Okay.
Now you notice I cut a little bit off one side because that's just the way I put the fabric in there, so
Yeah.
it didn't matter. Okay, so I've got the 2 sides done. All right.
Cool. So now this part you do it from the back.
Yes, this one is from the back.
Okay. I knew that part of it you had to trim it from the back.
And it says a 1/2 inch all the way around
Okay.
from this template line,
Right.
right?
So I think your 3-inch mark is already at a 1/2 inch, isn't
Yes,
it? So
yes.
all you have to do is the top and the bottom.
You didn't want me to do that center one first?
Well, no. Why?
Okay.
Because then you have to do,
I do it twice. She's a thinker.
Then
Okay.
you have to do it, make that extra cut.
Yes. I am lining the 1/2 inch right on that line.
1/2 inch. Why a 1/2 inch? Your seam allowances are a 1/4 inch normally. I know.
I don't know, I just believed him.
I know.
Okay, and now there's the bottom, 1/2 inch. Okay, so we trimmed that down. So now we can cut them apart, right?
Yes, you can.
And if you notice, it's 1/2 inch in between. So you can line that up on there, line it up on your stitching. Please let me be doing this right.
I think you
Okay,
are.
I did it. Okay, now we have 2. So we'll need to make, let me think, 7 more, right? No. Okay, we need 3 to make, whatchamacallit?
A strip.
A strip, that's the word. Okay, so here's this one. My next one will be a dark, a light, a dark. So I've got these 2 done. And then I will come back and I will use 2 darks and
A light?
a light. And it'll do those 2. So I will have one of the sashing strips done.
Correct.
And then you can, is that when we sew them together? Yes. And then we'll come and we'll sew them together, pretend I've got a dark and a light. We'll put these together. And I followed this seam right here,
Yes.
because they do want you to do a 1/2 inch seam allowance on sewing these together, okay? Make sure you're reading that. Okay.
So
then
you're just going to repeat that again and again and again.
Right.
If you're going to do it all in the hoop.
Putting 3
So, Kyle,
together.
what size do your sashing strips end up being?
I think they were 25.
No, I mean the pieces. I'm sorry.
Oh, the pieces.
The pieces
3
here.
by 7. Is that right? Let me make sure. Shh, I didn't say a word. Yep. 3
Okay.
by
So
7.
how big are these pieces here when you're all said and
When
done?
it's all said and done, like that one, 2 inches.
2 inches. So I did it a little bit different. Now, Katie's asking a question that I think is really great. She says she doesn't embroider, but she wants to know what a fabric folding pin is. Would you use a fabric folding pin in just straight quilting?
No, well.
Sure.
Yeah.
You bet.
Yeah.
Why not?
I use it all the time. If you've got blocks that you're sewing together, just to get them to lay flatter.
How about if you do a stitch and flip?
Yes.
Like if you have a block and you're putting like what do they call it? The balloon, and you do the corners.
Oh,
And you lay a piece of, so you have a square, and you're going to put a square on each one of your corners.
Okay.
Okay.
Like a snowball?
Yeah, like a snowball. That's
Okay.
it. Like a snowball block. And then you stitch from corner to corner.
Right.
I would use that fabric folding pin for that
I would
too.
not go to the iron.
Okay, so basically, Katie, what a fabric folding pin is, it's just water has, no, it doesn't have water. It has water in it, but it has a little bit of a solution in it. It's almost like a fabric softener. It's not starch.
No.
It just kind of softens it a little bit. But when you purchase the fabric folding pin, it comes with a little bottle of solution that you just use a couple of drops in each time.
The solution?
Of the solution each time you fill it with water. So you fill it with water, then you put a couple of drops of the solution that it comes with. And again, what it is, just like a little fabric softener. Okay, now put the lid on it.
Okay.
And then the tip of it is like a paint pen almost.
Yes, yes.
And that's where the solution comes out. And you use that, and then you just put it on your, like Kyle did earlier, you run it down your seam, and then as you flip that, it helps press that down really well.
Yes, just like you had steam in your iron or something.
And Kathy, yes, I definitely would use a fabric folding pin on strip blocks.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'll show you that here in just a second. So
The great thing is this has a lid also.
Yes, yes. So basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna make those strips with the 3 fabrics, and then you're gonna sew them all together. And you're gonna have what, 2, 4, 8, right? Because you're gonna, no, 4. 1, 2, it's gonna go here, right?
Yes.
So 1, 2,
2,
3,
3,
4. 4 strips.
So
okay?
you're going to do two hoopings.
2 of each one for 1 strip. Okay,
Yes.
you're going to do 2 hoopings for 1 strip, and you're going to need 3 strips, so you need 6.
Look at that
times.
math.
6 times you're going to do this. Okay?
3 with each colorway.
Correct. All right. So then you're going to end up with a strip
Okay.
that looks like, here, I got one here for you.
You got one?
It's gonna look a little different, but it'll work.
It'll be fine.
Because this is what I'm gonna show you how to do. Okay, you're gonna end up with a strip that looks like that.
Okay.
Okay?
Oh, yes, I see. Cute.
All right,
so this is one.
that's what your strip's gonna look like.
And let me see. Did I do that right? Yep. Then this. And then,
Yep. Yeah.
okay.
You know, you're gonna stitch them all together. All right, so I am gonna show you a way that I did it without doing 6 hoopings. Okay?
Genius.
Because
Genius.
I'm like, first of all, if you're a quilter at all, you'll know what I'm talking about here. But even if you're not, if you want to do it just all in the hoop, go for it, because that's what you're going to end up with. All right?
And you're going to end up with the same thing anyway.
Exactly. It's
Okay.
going to end up
This
exactly
is
the same.
A quicker way.
But I think this is going to be a little bit faster. Plus, I don't think you're using as much fabric.
All right. Do you want to come over
Okay?
here?
So trade me
Okay.
places here,
I
girl.
will.
So what they had you do here is they gave you a fat quarter, okay? And a fat quarter
Of each one?
Of each fabric. And a fat quarter obviously measures 18 by 21, okay? So what I did is I took and I cut out 3 strips of each fabric that measure 2.5 by 18.
Instead of the 3 inches.
Correct.
Okay.
Because I don't need them 3 inches. I'm going to be trimming all of that off of there.
Yeah.
And these strips here are going to end up 2 inches when you're all said and done sewing them.
Because those have 1/4 inch seams.
Correct. These end up 2 inches. So you're going to cut your strips 2.5 by 18.
Okay.
All right. Then I sewed those together in a strip. So I've got a bunch of strips here.
Okay.
So what I want you to do, Kyle, is change that foot to a sewing foot.
Okay.
Now, these aren't 18 inches long, but it's basically the same thing. So I just had some scrap pieces. So I took and I sewed them together like that, 2.5 inches wide. And again, they're going to be 18 inches long. Okay. And I'm going to take, and I sewed them together opposite like that. And then this is just kind of going to show you here. So what we're going to do here, as soon as she gets that foot off of there and changes it back to a sewing foot.
You won't believe what I did yesterday.
Did you sew with an embroidery foot on?
No, I embroidered with a sewing foot on.
Oh, embroidered with your sewing foot on.
I said to Lisa, I said, God, this is going weird. She didn't even look up from what she was doing. She goes, Kyle, check your foot. Gee whiz. I wasn't going to announce that today.
Well, you're telling on yourself,
I
not
know.
me.
I know.
Okay, so we're going to go
Just
into sewing
sewing.
mode. And you're going to make it so that you got a 1/4 inch seam. So which?
I want it to go to the quilting and to the right. My needle moved.
All right.
Can I sew it with embroidery thread?
You probably could, but then you don't have your foot, the right foot on there, and it's just not always a great
No,
thing.
with embroidery thread.
Oh, yes, we're going to use embroidery thread.
Okay, we're not bothering.
All right. I
Okay.
want you to sew those 2 pieces together.
Long way or short way?
Long way.
Oh, okay.
Hot dog style.
Okay.
Oh, the foot's right here.
Yep.
You
I'm
got
a little
it?
short. Okay. Okay.
All right. So now I have my 3 strips, okay? Now I'm going to take them.
These are all 18 inches long.
Yeah, they are. They will be. Yeah, they aren't right. These are not, but
No,
yours are
but
going to be. But they don't have to be.
This is like
just whatever pieces you have, but just
strip
so that
quilting or whatever.
Exactly. Now I want
This
you to
is
sew.
genius.
Make
Yes,
sure
I
that
will make sure.
make sure those are together. So you make sure that you have that 2.5. So this is just going to be a little bit quicker. You're not doing all that embroidery. You're not using all that
Put it in the hoop.
stabilizer.
Yeah. You have the best tips.
Because this just is, you're going to get the same end result when it's all said and done.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Then you're going to take these 2 and you're going to sew them together.
You're just making sure you are getting dark light, dark light, dark light.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Does it matter which way I start?
No.
That it's light on one side and dark on the other?
It'll end up the same.
Okay, good.
Your end result's going to be the same. And you are only using a 1/4 inch seam allowance.
Yes.
Woohoo, you're speedy.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to take these and I'm going to press them. So I'm going to the ironing board.
Okay. Hey, it's Embroidery Club. Do they get a discount today?
Oh, yes, there is a discount today. Okay, so I'm going to take these to the iron, and I always
You press yours.
set my seam.
Okay. What do you mean by setting your seam?
Well, I'm pressing it, and that kind of sets your seam so
Because
that
if you look at it right now,
it's kinda
before you press
wrinkly.
it's wrinkly, yes.
yeah. So I always press it and set my seam.
Okay.
Okay, And then I'm going to press it to the dark.
To the dark. And you do it on the back?
Yeah, I'll show you why.
Okay.
That's why, right there.
Ah.
You see that?
Okay. Yeah, I was just doing it every other. Okay.
I need a little steam here. Set those better.
Oh, yeah, that looks pretty. Who would have thought I'd say that about a seam?
I know, isn't that the truth?
You make sure they're down pretty good.
I do. Okay. And there you go. So you're going to have a strip that's going to look similar to this, only much longer, obviously.
18 inches or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to take it over here to the cutting table. And I am going to cut these 3 inches wide.
Okay. Why's that?
Because that's what I need when I quilt them.
Okay. Okay. Down the long way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of even this up on the ends.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Then I'm going to cut my strips here 3 inches wide.
Okay. And we didn't have to use any stabilizer.
No, we do not need stabilizer.
That's awesome.
There's one. And there's 2. Okay? Then I'm going to take these and I'm going to sew them together.
Dark to a light.
Correct.
With
A 1/4 inch seam.
a 1/4 inch seam. Okay. If you're doing it out of the hoop with Sandra's measurements, are all 1/4 inch seams.
Yes.
I'm sitting so high up I can't even tell where I'm at. Okay.
Okay, then I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna press that to the dark.
Okay, I got a question.
And I'm gonna end up with my strip right there.
Nice.
That's what you need, and you need 3 of those.
Okay, this doesn't have stabilizer on it right now. We're gonna be okay still?
We're still gonna be okay.
I think so.
Yep,
I
we're
think
still
so.
gonna be just fine. Okay, so that's how you're gonna make your strips, and I'm gonna have 3.
That's
Look at
genius.
I mean, look how fast I made that
Yeah,
strip.
that was fast.
How much time that
That
actually saved.
I
So
like it.
And you're gonna end up with the same thing that you ended up with this one, right? Look,
Oh, they're the same sizes.
same. Yes. Okay, let's, sorry.
That's usually me.
Okay, let's show this right here. Abby, yeah, okay. So this is what you ended up with the hoop,
Right.
okay? This is what I just ended up not doing it in the hoop. Same size. Same thing. Okay?
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying? So this is the same size as what I just did here.
Okay.
And now this, I'm going to take this and I am going to...
Okay, I got a question. If somebody already cut all their squares, or their 6.5 by 3.5,
Yeah,
can they still do that
you
method?
bet you can. Just take those and make sure you use your 1/2 inch seam allowance on
okay.
it, because you want to end up with this right here
2
being
inches.
2 inches. So you just got to make sure that way. So you just sew your strips together instead of
The whole thing.
I did them in a strip quilt in a big long one. If you've already cut them, you can definitely stitch them together the same way.
This is great.
Yeah, stitch them together the same way, even though you've
Some
already
people
cut
like
your
to do it all in the hoop.
Right,
And so that's why they show this
Right,
way.
there's a lot of people out there that are like so afraid of doing anything outside of the hoop. No, it's more accurate. You're going to get a better.
right.
Not always the case here.
Yeah.
This
That
is
was awesome.
definitely going to be a little bit faster. And then you don't have 2 layers of stabilizer in your strip when you end up being all the way done. Because now your strip here, I'm going to re-hoop this.
Yes, on more stabilizer.
And I'm going to put it back in the hoop. And so I'm going to have double layer of stabilizer in this strip.
And it doesn't
Okay.
really need it.
And you really don't need that bulk.
No.
And this here strip is going to work just exactly the same as this strip.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
So now we're going to do the quilting.
Okay.
All right. So you are going to need, if you're doing background quilting designs, you're going to need a 6x10 hoop.
Yes.
Doesn't matter which, the only way you don't need a 6x10 hoop, you could do it in a 5x7. If your machine is just a 5x7 size, you definitely can do background quilting, but you need to use the clear blue tile file, not the block by block. That way it will work in your 5x7 hoop.
This is a PES?
It is.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do now.
Thank you, Abby. Abby
is-
reminded me.
We're gonna do embroidery. So now we gotta change our foot back to, Terry, no, those sewing directions that I just told you are not in the instructions.
This is the bonus you get for being with us.
The instructions show you only
In the hoop.
in the hoop. So if you wanted to refer back to this and you needed to know exactly what those measurements are,
Rewatch.
you'd have to rewatch this. But again, I'll just tell you, you cut your strips 2.5 inches wide, sew them together, and then cut them in 3-inch lengths. 3 inches each apart, okay? And an 18-inch one worked absolutely perfect.
Really?
Yes, perfect. So that way you use the width of your fat quarter, not the length of your fat quarter. You could use the length because it is 21 inches,
Yeah.
and that just gives you a little bit of playroom. Okay, and then when you're done, you're going to cut again. You're going to cut them in 3-inch pieces, and then you sew 2 of them together. Again,
I got
3
it.
strips of each color. Okay, so. Now we're going to do the background quilting, and we'll show you how to do that on each one of those strips.
And the background quilting, what do we need? You gonna do this?
Yep. Oh, I can, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Sandra is so good, so easy to work with. I love
So
you.
your background quilting is going to use your strip, your file we're going to use is the 2 inches wide. You want your 2x10.
Right.
Okay, for the first one and the second one.
Yes.
And then your third one's going to be the 2x7.
Right.
So that gives you 27 inches, okay? If you have bigger hoops, you figure out what you're going to need.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Okay, so 2x10 in the background quilting. And I would do 2 in the same hoop,
Uh-huh.
okay?
Okay. All right.
So let's set that. And I'm going to go up here and oh man, no, that's not what I want, the file. There we go.
What are you doing?
I'm changing my hoop size so I know where they're going to
I
fit
need
in the
to
hoop.
remember to do this.
Okay.
Will you do that one more time?
Okay, so we're going to go up here to the little folder file.
Okay.
And we are going to go up here. The first screen that comes up, which is on page 7, is an embroidery frame display.
Okay.
Right now it's set at 9.5 by 14 because that's the biggest hoop that this machine can
okay.
take.
Okay, I don't
All
want
right.
that one.
No, I want a 6x10 because that's what I'm working with.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to go down until I find 6 1/4 by 10 1/4. And then I'm going to hit OK. So then when I look at my screen right here, it
see the
has
outline.
an outline of my hoop.
Because I'm always guessing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do
I
that.
need to remember this.
Okay. So remember, we're going to be doing 3 strips. So we're going to be rehooping this multiple times. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm just going to drag it over.
Because you could tell where your edge is.
Yeah, I can tell where it's at. So I know where it's going to fit in that hoop. Okay, then I'm going to add, and I'm going to go, oh, I can actually mirror or duplicate it.
Okay, let's see that. Yeah.
This one?
This one.
And this one? And PES. Boy, you got a lot of stuff on this.
Quiet.
Oh, okay.
Quiet.
Sorry. Okay, there's my second one. And I'm going to set it, and then I'm going to take it, and I'm going to move it over to that side.
Do you know what I did? I did it on the Radiance yesterday. So I could put 3 in at a time.
Oh my gosh, and you had a big hoop.
A big one.
Yeah, that's awesome, Kyle.
But, okay, I'm not as good as you.
Oh,
But I have to, so when I start to do it, it just does one whole one all at once.
We're going to color sort it.
Okay, thank you.
We are going to color sort it. So we're at this stage. We're going to embroider.
Okay, so we got it all ready to embroider.
Yeah. Yep. And then we're going to go to layout. And see this little spool right there?
Yes.
I'm going to touch
Why can't
that.
I ever remember?
Okay. And then I'm going to hit this again. And look, it's separated each of those. So it's color sorted it.
Nice.
Okay. So now what it's going to do.
Even if you don't change thread.
Right. Because these are exactly the same.
Okay, yeah.
And so you can color sort it. If they're two separate designs, you can't color sort.
Okay.
Or
okay.
if they're layered, you can't color sort.
Oh.
Like your
okay.
background quilting and your design on top.
No, you don't want to.
Well, I know, but if you're doing more than one
Yes,
of those, then
yes.
you cannot.
Okay.
You cannot.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's just going to do the first step on both of them, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
All
All
right.
right. So, do you have to change the hoop size? Pamela, the reason I did that is so that I know where to line it up. That's the only reason that I changed it on the machine. Other than that, your machine will only accept whatever the design is, the hoop size. I mean, you can always go bigger, obviously, but you can't go smaller. So in reality, no, you do not have to change the hoop size at all. I do that so that I know where my design is in my hoop.
Okay. Okay, is that what she was talking about?
I hope that answers your question. So.
What if I don't have a big enough hoop?
What do you mean not have a big enough hoop for what?
To do the 7, the last one.
Okay, so I did a 5, if you only have a 5x7 and you want to do the background quilting, you need to, again, use
you talked about this.
The clear blue tile file, not the block by block.
Okay.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is it's going to do a placement line for our batting.
Oh, yes.
Good morning, Heidi. Thanks for joining us. We're glad you're here. And as Kyle said earlier, it's Embroidery Club Day. We have a coupon code.
Yes.
And that is Embroidery Club 15, and that will give you a 15% discount on anything out of the Kimberbell pop-up shop.
Okay, you have to get that right. The pop-up shop.
The pop-up shop.
And is that on our site?
That's correct, on our website.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. Isn't that awesome?
That is. That's
Girlfriends
nice. It makes
does
it
that.
So easy.
What a nice thing to be able to get a discount on your embroidery supplies.
I love that. If you need stabilizer, is that in the pop-up?
It is. That it is. Okay, so the first thing it's doing is a placement line for our batting.
Right.
I've got it right here. So here you go.
It's like you have this memorized.
I think I've done this
few times.
Just a few times. Carol, we are using, she's asking what machine we're using. We're using the Brother Altair 2. I believe that's how you say that.
Sounds fancy.
Okay, put that down so they can see our placement lines.
Okay. Okay, we have 2.
Okay.
Don't we need 3?
Well, we're going to hoop it more than once.
Oh, okay. Okay. Do I put this down? Make sure I'm covering it.
Correct.
Okay. do both of them at the same time because we're going to do both of them.
Exactly.
And do you tape yours down on camera?
On camera.
Okay. Well, you're going to do 2 at a time. That might be easy for you
Yep.
if you're a little inexperienced or get nervous.
You just got to make sure that that batting covers those
But
pieces.
don't go too far up because you want to use all your batting, right?
Correct. This one's not cut long enough to do it more than once, but that's okay. There, it'll have some little pieces on the edge, but that's okay.
Oh, I got a little close there. That way you don't have to trim it.
Not so much on that side, huh? There we go.
Okay.
Now, because that kind of wiggles a little, it's going to go around twice anyway.
Yep.
So we'll wait here a minute. And again, from one to the other, we probably ought to trim that off a little bit there,
yes,
Kyle,
you can
when we
see
get
that.
there, so they can see what's happening here. It does go around it twice, but it does not stop between one and to the next. It will not stop.
What
It'll
happens
go
if
right.
my batting has moved?
Then I have to stop it
You
myself.
can stop it and
You
it
bet.
won't screw it all up.
Nope. So at this point here,
You let that finish.
and then I'm going to stop it and make sure it's lined up good here. After it stops making its moves.
Yeah. It's lining itself up.
If I would have taped it, it would be fine. But I didn't tape it. So we're just gonna. There we go. I think we're good.
Yay. Oh, someone wants to know about your cool nails.
Oh, you like my red, white, and blue fingernails, huh? I have an amazing nail lady.
Yeah,
I'll
you
just
do.
put it that way.
You do. What day is it today?
Today is Canada Day.
Yay!
Yay! Look at this.
In honor of Canada. Wow! That's awesome.
It is.
We want to start singing, but all I know is "Oh Canada."
Oh yeah, and that's about all I know too. But if my grandkids or my daughter or my son-in-law were here, they could sing the whole thing. but
Nice.
yeah, I don't know. But anyway, yeah. And my husband put our Canadian flag up today.
Good job. Do you know my dad's from Nova Scotia?
Oh,
Yeah.
well, you got some roots there
So
too then, don't
I'm
you?
quite a bit Canadian.
Okay. So now,
All
Kyle,
right,
I want
there
you
we
to
are.
trim that
Oh,
up.
I got to trim it. Why am I trimming it?
Because we don't want all that batting in our seams.
Okay. And how close do I trim it? Pretty close.
Yeah, right next to the seam.
What happens if I catch a stitch?
You know, it's going to be okay. I
Yeah.
wouldn't, make sure you don't do it all the time, but to
Yeah.
cut a stitch here and there is going to be okay. They stitch it down really well, and yeah. Yeah, Kyle, I think a lot of people are, I've been going to this same nail lady for over 25 years.
Uh-huh. Wow.
And,
25 years?
Yeah, a long time. Yeah.
Do you ever take a rest on your nails?
I haven't for a long time.
That's okay. They haven't fallen off.
I have a really bad problem of biting my fingernails.
Me
and
too.
I don't. As long as I have nails on, I don't
No.
bite them.
That's too hard to bite.
Exactly. You can't. Well, you could, but it'd be a mess.
And then you've spent all that money.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm even cutting this side.
Okay.
Might look like I chewed it.
Bonnie says, Kyle, you're doing a great job
Thank
trimming
you.
that,
Thank you.
even with the left-handed.
I know. My life has been tortured all the time. So I make do. Okay, I did
All right.
it.
So now what it's going to do is we are going to have a placement line for our fabric. And this step right here is probably the most important step you can have. Because then that way you know exactly where you need to put that fabric.
Also, when it's stitching that, it stitches it right on the bottom and the top in that same place, but on the sides it's wider.
Yep.
Why is that?
Because it's going to show you exactly where it's going to stitch.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, it's good.
And how far over the end do you go with your fabric?
I go about 1/4 of an inch.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's what you're gonna need is about that 1/4 of an inch of the
Outside of your batting.
yeah, your seam allowance.
That only goes around once. The batting, it goes twice.
Correct. Anytime it's tacking down fabric, I should say, and batting and stuff, it usually goes twice. It didn't clip that thread. I'm not sure why.
Maybe because you stopped?
Oh, maybe so.
Yeah.
Could be me.
Okay.
All
All
right.
about you.
So, Kyle, have you ever used double-sided tape?
No.
All right.
On this?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to have you pull out the double-sided tape in that drawer right there.
This?
No, double-sided tape, Scotch tape. There's a roll of it in there.
There is?
There has been in the past, unless somebody took it. Let's try this drawer. Right here.
There it is. Oh,
Got
she
it, got
found
it, got
some.
it. All right, what I want you to do is take a strip of double-sided tape and put it at the top and the bottom of each one of those pieces of batting.
How long?
Just,
Just enough?
yeah, long enough to,
At each one?
top and the bottom.
Okay.
You've not used this method?
No.
Have you not watched me do this before?
No, apparently not.
Okay, cool.
I'm so glad I'm here.
Okay, and then also down at the bottom.
Ugh, this
I
does
know.
not like to tear.
Double-sided tape is strong.
Yeah.
It has to have a good cutter on your tape dispenser.
This one must be old. Okay.
Okay, now I want you to take your fabric strip
Okay.
and I want you to go over again about 1/4 of an inch at the top.
Okay.
All right. Line that up good and press that down on there. Now with this being all those strips, you got to make sure that your seam allowances lay flat. Okay.
One thing I noticed is when I had them in the hoop and it didn't go all the way to the edges, so I had to be really careful when it stitches around them.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
The other
second
up.
one.
No, the long one, please.
Okay.
There is another long one on there.
Okay, does it matter that I start that one up there?
Nope, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Well, actually, yes, it does.
It does? Okay. Oh, because
I think they actually tell you to start with the dark.
Okay. Okay.
If I remember right, I think they tell you to start with the dark at the top.
Oh, I went way over. There we go. Dark at the top?
Okay.
Okay. Now on mine, when I sewed them together, they said to press the seams open where you sewed them together.
Yeah, and it does. But you'll also have a piece of stabilizer
Right,
between them, so you're not going to have to worry about that because there's going to be a piece of stabilizer there. But because we didn't do these strips in the hoop, then you got to make sure that your seam allowances lay flat.
This
Now,
is genius.
If you've done them open, yeah, it holds it in place, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Okay, so on your instructions for your background quilting, it says under optional block by block quilting instructions, it tells you to be sure to begin the quilting with the dark fabric at the top.
Okay, good to
So
know.
it does tell you that. I kind
Okay.
of thought so. I was like, I think you're
I'm gonna
supposed
have to look at mine.
I remember
don't know if
right.
I did it right.
Okay. So what this is going to do now is going to do, it's going to hold it in place. It's going to just do down both sides.
Right. Sometimes
And that will
I
just hold it
skip
in place.
this.
Sometimes you skip it.
I don't on the first one, I do.
I don't very often skip this step.
I find it easier to find the next starting point without,
I find
Like,
it
move it.
easier to have that there.
Yeah.
So when you line it up,
I'm gonna learn something today.
when you line it up so that those marks meet.
Okay.
And while this is quilting, Kyle, I don't think we cut enough batting.
Oh, did we?
So we need 2 more pieces of batting.
Long pieces?
Yes.
Okay.
There, that one's not laying real flat there. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, be aware of your seams, I guess.
Yeah, I gotta make sure those seams lay flat.
How long are these? 18
I just cut it the width of it, whatever it is,
of this?
and 2.5 inches wide. Oh, that, you don't need all that, the width this way,
Okay.
by 2.5 inches wide. To make sure that we'll have them ready for when they... We just need to make sure that it's, that buckled a little bit, dang it. I'm gonna have to fix that.
How come it buckled?
It wasn't laying on there flat.
Darn it.
Do we have a seam ripper?
Do we have a seam ripper? So how are you gonna fix it?
I'm gonna back it up, but just a tad.
Okay, this is good information to have anyway. Don't panic.
It's all good.
No crying.
No, no crying. There's no crying in embroidery.
Yeah.
Oh, well, sometimes there is.
Yeah, there is.
Okay, just right there on that top corner. It didn't lay down quite as
Oh, okay.
like I wanted it to. And it kind of put a little bit of a buckle right there at that top corner.
Okay.
And it's just a basting stitch, so it comes out really easy.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to go into my needle here. Good. And I'm
The plus
going
and minus?
Yeah, the plus and minus, and then I'm going to back it up.
To however far you need it?
Yeah. And it was on another step, and it will go back into that step that I just finished.
Oh, nice.
One more time. Come on.
Because it's going up.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Right there. That right there. Just kind of,
Just gotta keep an eye on it.
yeah, I am. There we go. I did it again. You know what? I think this embroidery foot is sitting too far down.
Oh,
You
so
know,
can
like I
adjust
told you, this is the first time that we've used this machine. So
You can adjust that?
you can adjust your embroidery foot height. Okay, so now what it's
How do
gonna...
you know how high you want it?
Well, you want it so that it glides across the top, that it doesn't
Drag?
drag onto your fabric.
And where we've got batting in there, is that
Right,
what it is?
it makes it a little bit thicker.
Okay.
So you want your embroidery foot height just a little bit more. Okay, so now what it's going to do, it's going to do our quilting design.
Yay! And we've got a 10-inch design?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a 2-inch by 10-inch
Okay.
and a 6 by 10 hoop. Now, when I did mine at home,
Uh-huh.
I used a bigger hoop.
Do you have a continuous hoop?
I do not.
You don't?
No. No.
Lisa was going to show them downstairs how to use them.
Yeah. That is an amazing hoop. I will say that. Is anyone having a code or is it just
Yeah, playing on stabilizer.
Is the code not working for the stabilizer? Is that what you're asking? Your best option would be to call customer service. There's a foot that helps with that. I'm not sure, are you talking about the drag on the, yeah, see, it is like right next to the top of the
Yeah.
fabric. So,
They've probably been sewing with just sewing.
yeah.
This is what happens when a lot of different people use it, but if
It
you're at
is.
your own sewing machine, you know what's going on.
It is. Yeah, this is a community machine. I'm excited to be able to work on this
Yeah.
machine today. And you know what? It's just
no
like the
big
baby
deal.
log.
Yeah.
This is actually not any different whatsoever.
No. This is a pretty design.
I just think this is such a cute
Oh my
design
goodness.
on this.
The double petals.
Yeah, and the great thing about it is that Kimberbell gives you all the widths, all the sizes.
Nice.
So, and we're only using just this.
Yeah.
So, oh,
That'd
she
be-
says that free motion echo foot. Okay. I've never used that on my machine. So
Instead of embroidery foot?
instead of the embroidery foot. That's awesome.
With a low shank adapter.
Now this, because it has the sensor,
I don't know if
I
that
don't
would
know
work.
that. I mean, you'd possibly lose your sensor.
Yeah, and on my machine, my Destiny, I wouldn't be able to do it either.
Yeah. I'm just gonna raise it here in just a minute. I'm gonna let it finish this design, and before it goes over to the other side, I'm gonna
Okay.
raise it up. So I'll show you how to do that.
Oh, nice. So I need to remember the color sorting and adjusting my foot. And the special way you cut it. The easy way.
Yeah. It just, it just saved a little bit of time
Yeah.
and a lot of stabilizer.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go back and watch it and write it down as we go.
Yeah, you could definitely make those notes on your instructions.
Yes. So when you make 7 more,
Yeah. Exactly.
okay.
All right. So again, I'm going
Now
to
you're gonna go in?
into my little file folder here,
Okay.
and I'm going to go embroidery foot height. This one's just
Oh.
right here at the very
And it-
bottom of that
it's-
screen.
It's set at
It's
factory settings.
settings, right? And I'm going to raise it up just a little bit. Let's see
What was it started on?
It started at 0.6,
Okay.
and I'm going to raise it to 0.1.
Okay.
I'm just going to say okay, and I don't know. We'll see.
And nothing looks different on here.
Not so far. No, nothing here looks any different. You'll see the difference here, and you can see ever so slightly that it is up a little bit. See, it's not dragging.
Yeah, it isn't. Oh, that makes
I mean,
it
you
a lot
guys
better.
probably can't see that, but I can. It's not dragging so tight.
Pushing your fabric.
Yeah. Yeah, it's much better.
Nice. What happens if I get it too high?
If you get it too high, then you could have issues with needle breaking or your thread tension.
Okay, so just test it a little.
Yes. Yeah, I think that
Don't
looks
set it and
perfect.
walk away.
Exactly. Yeah, make sure you watch it, that's for sure. I think that looks really good.
Yeah, that made a big difference. Big, big difference. I'm glad to be able to see that.
Yeah. Because you sure can see the difference, can't
Yeah,
you?
you
And
can.
just those two little adjustments right there, and it doesn't drag
Now-
as much.
Now, does that work with your regular foot too, or is that already adjusted?
That's pretty much adjusted.
Okay. I don't need to worry
You're
about the
sewing.
height. Yeah.
That's not going to make a difference when it goes into sewing mode.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
that's just for embroidery.
Now, we adjusted it. When we turn off the machine, will it go back to factory setting?
No, it should stay there.
Oh, okay.
At least my Solaris does. I don't know about this one, but I guess we'll find out.
Yeah,
right?
we will.
So this machine here, from what I understand, is the same machine as the Altair.
Oh, I have the Altair.
We'll see. There you go.
Yeah. Yay! I just don't have Disney.
Huh?
I don't
Yeah,
have Disney.
you don't have Disney. And you can't hook your Altair up to the scan and cut.
No, but you can load it onto a USB. I followed it a little bit when I heard them
But
describing
only on a brother machine.
No.
You can load it onto but you cannot use that design on your baby lock.
Oh, yes, but all the other ones, not the Disney.
Right. Yeah, you can't load the Disney machines from your brother onto a USB and then use them in your Altair.
Yes, no.
No.
It's just for brother.
Correct.
I don't blame them.
Hey, they paid a lot of money for
They
those
did.
designs.
Yes.
They
You
paid.
can always buy Disney designs, can't you?
Yes, you can. But you're going to pay a pretty penny for
Yes,
them.
you are. I don't need to go to Disney.
I'm okay.
Yeah. Not in that heat and the lines. My daughter loves it.
My daughter-in-law's a big Disney fan. She goes to Disneyland. She hasn't since she's married my son, but her parents took them to Disneyland probably every year, at least once a year.
Wow.
Her mom was a big Disneyland fan, and they would go to Disneyland a lot.
Did they live in California?
No,
What?
no.
Oh my goodness.
But you know what spring break is called around here?
No.
The mass exodus
Yes.
to Disneyland
Yes.
in Utah.
Do not go to Disneyland on spring break.
No, on spring break, that's the mass exodus of Utah.
Yeah.
When the kids are out of school for spring break, everybody goes to Disneyland.
Because it's nice weather.
It is. Okay, girl.
Okay. I make such a mess.
And we've
sorry.
got those. Cut them apart.
Okay, so we're done? I can take it out of the hoop?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Notice I always ask permission.
Yes, you can.
Okay. All right. Tell me your trick to cutting these, because I bring them back and then I like freak out that I might cut them.
Yeah, just make sure you don't.
Yeah, you would not be happy.
I always protect them with like what you're going to do with the
Ruler?
Ruler.
Yeah. Do you cut it right at the seam?
I give myself a little bit of
Yeah.
leeway there.
This is on camera. Okay, so I cut that end. Do you just cut around the outside of these now? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, you just slice those apart. Don't you just love working on camera, Kyle?
I do. No, it makes me so freaking nervous.
It's a little nerve-wracking at first, isn't it?
Yeah, but these guys are all pretty good. They understand.
Yeah, you know they are.
Yeah, I'm
guys
cutting
are
it the
awesome.
same size as my strip.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, now I want you to hoop up some stabilizer.
Okay. Same hoop.
Yeah, we're still going to use that 6x10. Now, if you've done any of Kimberbell's quilts or pillows or anything like that that uses borders, this is the same technique that you would use for any of it.
All of them.
Cut my stabilizer around
I
that
will.
hoop.
I will. She's
Well,
got rules.
only because these
Camera.
ladies want to see what we're doing. It's not, I don't cut it at home.
Don't you?
No,
are little
I
scissors.
don't. Because I can see what I'm doing.
Oh my goodness.
You could use regular scissors.
I
if that
could, but then
helps.
I'd have to get them out of the drawer.
Oh.
That's a lot of effort.
So I'm just watching Kyle here. And I'm like, okay,
pretty
does your sewing room at home look like this sewing room, what you've just done here?
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
She just takes everything and pushes it off onto the floor.
And then I'll go gather it all up. No problem. No, I don't.
Just Just teasing you, girl.
My counter does look a little bit messy until I get a
'Kay.
spot where I can clean it. Now we're just gonna do the same thing
We're
again?
gonna do the same thing again. What we're gonna do is we're gonna show you guys how to line this up.
Okay, we're just doing one?
Right. We're just gonna do it one time.
Okay.
Or we can do both of them because they're.
Okay, then I cut another one.
Oh, just let. Well, it's gonna do both of them anyway because it's color sorted. We might as well. We're gonna have to anyway.
Yeah, gonna have to finish it. This is what I do all day long. Where's my ruler?
Yes,
2.5, you said?
that works. You know, it's really hard to watch you.
I bet. Left-handed.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be because I have some lefties in
Yeah.
my family.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks like, Kyle. I know Lisa always tells me, Kyle, be careful.
I know, that's what I was thinking too. Wait, you're doing that wrong.
Yeah. Oh, I did a nice straight edge. That'll be
It's
on the
okay.
bottom.
Well, for some reason that didn't cut that again.
Again. Oh,
Just on that one. I wonder what happened.
does that really matter?
No, I just
Okay.
trimmed it.
Okay.
All right, girl.
All right, let's show we're doing the exact same thing again.
Yes, we are.
So we're just putting these on. I just go a little ways up because we'd have to just cut it off anyway.
Yeah, we are.
And I'm going over the edges. And you can readjust them.
I'll just make sure they're good.
Yep. We usually have oh, there's the garbage can.
I got to change that
Gotta change what?
so I don't have to put my presser foot down every time.
Oh,
See,
you have to change that? I
you-
could change that?
You can change that
I
in
did
your
not
settings
know that. Ooh,
so that you don't have to automatically put that presser foot down every time. At least I know you can on your other machine.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can on this one.
yeah. No matter what, I always forget and push both buttons.
Well, if it's something that you're used to, but
No
I'm
big deal.
not.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a red light that tells me I can't go, and so it's like, oh, put down the presser foot.
Yep.
So Kyle, there's a little bit of batting here. Would you throw this away?
Nope.
I would not either.
Would you, you're gonna still put it in your strip?
I
You
can.
piece them?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I don't piece. Well, yeah, I don't sew them together by
No,
any means,
no.
but I do lay
Put
them.
them together?
Put them together.
You just
I
butt
mean,
the
it's
ends?
not any different than as you're butting this up.
Yeah, yeah, true.
It's not any different.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, when I have longer pieces, I mean, if I have little pieces, I'm
No,
not
throw
going
'em
to do
away.
that.
No.
But if I have a good length, this would work in a good 5x7 hoop.
Mm-hmm.
That end piece at the very end
Yes.
that you're only going to need,
Right, you don't need the full 7.
yeah, you're only going to need 5-6 inches of it.
Uh-huh,
That piece right there would work perfect.
yeah, that's true. Because do you stop your machine from embroidering off the,
I don't. Well, it depends on how the design is.
Okay.
Okay. This design goes from top to bottom and it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the background quilting designs go from top to bottom and then they go back up to the top.
Oh, yes, yes.
And so you have to be careful that way. But if it, like this one, it
Mm-hmm.
you know, starts up and then ends at the bottom, then you definitely would, you could stop it. You wouldn't have to.
What happens if I don't trim this?
That piece, then it hangs
Well,
off
no,
the end.
all the pieces, all the way around.
Well, then you end up with a little bit of batting in your seam, and it just creates a little bit more bulk.
But it won't fall apart.
No. And that right there is probably not enough to really
Worry
stress
about.
over. But we're following the rules
We
today.
are. We're rule followers today.
We're going to follow all the rules today.
And then Sandra made up some new ones. I love it. That was smart.
Yeah, I know there's got to be an easier way to do this. I don't need to.
This is why I love these.
The curve on them, isn't it?
Because you get right down in there before you're like poking it.
Yes, the curve on those are awesome. I just didn't want to hoop those up 6 times.
Don't blame you.
Wait a minute.
That's smart.
This is just piecing in the hoop. And I
Yes.
don't need to piece all of this in the hoop. But Kimberbell again.
It's all in the hoop.
Yeah.
And that's how.
Oh, Lenny, you're exactly right. Those smaller pieces are great for filler blocks too.
Oh, true.
Yep, they are. Lenny, it was so fun to spend some time with you last week. Lenny came to
Was she at
Galas. Yeah. Is it Galas or Galas?
I don't know. I was just going to ask you.
Whatever you want it to be.
Yep. A party.
That's like saying tomato.
Oh, my aunt used
Okay,
to
now
say
there is
tomato.
a few things that I will say. Okay, it's Canada Day. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. Say this word. I'm going to spell it. D-E-C-A-L.
Decal?
Okay, decal. Do you know what they say in Canada? Decal.
I would never guess that's the word.
Yes.
Decal.
They call them decals. So when I'm up there, and my daughter has a friend that their business is they make decals.
Oh, gall.
And so she was saying, well, we make decals. I'm like, what? You make what? What? Yeah, that was a little strange to me.
That one is.
Okay, so I found this reel not here too long ago that had some hockey players.
Okay.
One was from Canada, one was from the U.S. Okay, and how they say different words, different things.
Okay.
Okay, how they call things differently. Okay, if you have Kraft macaroni and cheese, what do you call it?
Kraft macaroni and cheese. Oh, I can't even think of the word. Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese. They call it Kraft dinner.
Oh, dinner.
Dinner, they call it Kraft dinner.
Well, that sounds fancier.
Yeah. So you're going to Wendy's and you want to
Shake?
buy a chicken
Sandwich.
sandwich. But it comes on a burger bun, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They
Chicken
call
bun?
it
Chicken
chicken
burger?
burger.
Okay, I can see that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was not too bad. Anyway, it was just kind of fun to see how different, and it's not just Canada, obviously. There's
No.
a lot of other.
You can go across the United States and they use different
oh,
terms.
yes. Oh, yes, yes.
Now
But
I gotta
anyway,
do
those
this.
are just a few things.
This
Here.
double-sided
Let me
tape.
help you.
Thank you. I struggle with that. See, it's not just me.
My gosh.
Yeah.
There
Bad.
you go.
Use that other one she brought over.
Let's see if this one works any different. Oh, much better. That must be
Oh, much better, but
dollar
I just...
store brand.
Oh, yeah.
And this is a little wider too.
It is wider. I like it.
One more.
But it really sticks. Okay.
Oh, Nancy, you're exactly right. She says cut the batting the size of that it's supposed to be and then glue it down. So you could use a glue stick
You could. You could.
and glue it down, and that eliminates that step of cutting the batting.
Okay.
Okay, you want me to do this or you
Yes,
want to
you
show?
you show them the real way.
The real way.
Uh-huh.
The real way. Okay. So what I do is you can see how this has your batting there. Now, this is right on your seam, so
Yeah.
you have to be really careful this way, but it worked out just
Are you
great.
making your seam go down?
Yes, because it's got to go towards the dark.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, you could have turned it the other way. It's not going to show because this fabric, it doesn't show through. It doesn't really matter, but it's already pressed to the dark. Okay. So I'm going to take this, and I've got my lines here,
That's why it's nice to not use white.
and I'm going to line that up. Just butt up that batting right there and right there.
Okay, but you made sure that your
That's on the edge. It's on the edge too. That's butted up right there and right there.
Okay.
Can you guys see that? Sorry, let's pull that down a little bit better. Okay. So as you set that on there, you just make sure that your batting edges match right here, and that matches right there at the top.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna make sure that fold that over like that.
Okay. The tape is what's going to save me.
Exactly. Now it's a little crooked. So I'm going to hold that down and I'm going to straighten it out.
Okay.
Okay. Oops. That
It's
caught on
sticky.
It is sticky. And then I'm going to make sure that this lays flat.
You're not pulling,
No, I'm just kind of
flattening it.
straightening it out.
Okay.
And just make sure that I cannot see that line that I stitched underneath there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that makes sure that that lines it up. With this being a 3-inch strip, and you're going to cut this to 2.5, because you're going to trim the edges of this off.
Right.
That gives you a little bit of playroom that way too.
Okay, good.
But if you're cut these strips at 2.5 inches, you got to make sure that the edge of that lines up right on that edge right there of that stitch line.
Because that's your cut line.
That's correct. Okay, it's
Don't
your
do that.
placement line, but it's also, like you say, your cut line, because you're going to trim these strips up to 2.5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to take this one, and I fold it back a little bit so I can see. And I'm just going to take that and I'm going to butt it up. But I'm also going to double check myself when I get to my machine.
Okay.
And I'll show you that also. See, again, I've got that just a little bit crooked. So I'm going to straighten it out here. And make sure that lays flat. And there we go.
Okay.
Now, is that pretty much the way you do it
that's the way I
too?
do it. Yep, I
Okay.
will lay it out like that.
Okay. All right, now back to the machine we go.
Be careful when you're bringing it into the machine.
There we go. All right, now, how do I check myself here, Kyle?
I do it with the laser.
Okay, exactly.
Oh,
That's what I do too.
Good answer.
All right, so what I'm gonna do here, and as I'm gonna hit my button, and it's gonna bring my laser up. There it is. Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
can hardly see that little dot in there. And it
You could
looks
fudge
pretty
them.
good. Can
Yeah.
you see that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard for you guys to see. But another way you can do it if you don't have a laser
Needle.
is take your needle and take it and put your needle down in position. Okay, so I know this one's lined up, but remember it's going to go from this one to this one, and it's not going to stop.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and I'm going to advance it to the next step.
Because
Even though it doesn't stop, it will go to the next step, which is this side. So I'm going to go
I didn't
down.
realize that.
I'm going to go down,
And there it went.
and there it went. Now this one's off.
Oh,
I'm to the right a little bit too far.
okay, so you can adjust your fabric.
So I'm going to adjust my fabric right there, and then hold that down, press that down, and readjust it this way.
Okay.
Okay. So that stitch is stitching right at the end of that other tack down stitch that we did before.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to press that, hold that down a little bit, and then just kind of smooth it out. I'm not.
That tape is going to be my lifesaver.
Oh, you bet it is.
Yeah.
Now, Kimberbell tells you to take their tape and roll it up. If you don't have double-sided tape,
Yeah, you can do that.
you can definitely roll it up. Take a piece of Kimberbell tape, roll it up, and put it in that place, okay?
Because it doesn't have to stay for long.
This machine does not have a camera. From what if it's similar to the Altair, it does not have a camera.
What's this?
Well, I could be wrong. Like I said, this is the first time we've worked on these machines.
Yeah, I haven't even seen
I think that's shows you where
the
it sits in the hoop.
Okay, so that would be easy.
Okay, so that will tell you, but and it just tells you where your strips are. Yeah, but again, we're working on the Brother Stellaire 2, and I don't believe it has a camera.
Okay. Okay, but that was nice.
Yeah, that shows you where your design is in your hoop. Mm-hmm. So that makes it nice.
Okay, and now just to get out of that, we just push OK?
Yeah.
Okay.
But if your machine has a camera, that
nice.
definitely would be the way to do it. You can also, no, I don't think you can. Never mind.
Okay.
Never mind.
Nope.
All right, so
Now we
now
gotta go
I'm going to go back.
And I always, before I touch that, go back and forward, make sure I know where I'm at.
Yes.
Because
see, and you can tell by that little green arrow, that the little green cross bar that shows you. And I think we're good to go.
Okay.
But that's how you would do that. Okay. And it's going to do my tack down line, my tack down line first.
If you get that to one side too far, when you did it in the hoop, it doesn't stitch all the way to the end.
Okay, correct, right.
So make sure you get it centered, because I did that on one of mine.
Oh, that makes so much, just raising that hoop,
That made a difference?
That presser foot made a
Yeah.
huge difference.
Oh, I must have unpicked it. Look how good I am.
Perfect, Kyle.
Oh, I know, I do a jig every time.
I know, it's like,
Yeah, I'm so good.
Don't you love it when a plan comes together?
Yes, yes. Nice.
Okay. That one's a little on the crooked side, but guess what? It's not going to matter.
No.
It's not going to matter because I have enough on both sides
Yeah.
to be able to do it.
Sure, yeah.
Now, again, we're at the point where it's going to start the embroidery. I'm just going to look at one more time and look at that.
Right on. You're amazing.
Like I said,
Lots of times I just put my needle down
Don't you
to
just
make
love it when the plan comes together?
And sometimes I'm okay if it overlaps.
And and in some designs it's not going to show.
Yeah.
Overlapping is better than a gap.
Yes, it is.
I'm okay with overlapping a little bit, more so than I'm not okay with a gap. And again, it depends on the design.
Yes, yes.
You do a lot of this with the long arm.
Yes.
And so lining up
oh boy.
Lining up your patterns on the long arm.
But we have a zoom that we can look at it.
That makes it nice.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, that's it.
And that's all we do. We're not sewing it to anything else yet.
Nope, that's
we're
it.
just going to put it
now,
in the
then
bag.
we're just going to keep these separate, and we're going to have our strips for our session.
But you're doing
You're
3.
going to do 3 of them. Now, so you can see I've got 2 here.
Yeah, you'll finish.
Now, if I were doing this at home, I would have taken one of my other strips, the 3rd strip, and I would have started it. And I'll tell you why. I would have started it on this side here. Because then when you're done, you finish with 2 in the hoop every time.
Okay.
If you're doing separately, you do 2, and then I've got 1 strip, and I can only do 1 in the hoop.
Oh.
Does that make sense? So I would have done this one here, and then I would have started this 3rd one here. So that when I go to the next one, I would have done the 2nd strip on this one and the 2nd strip on the other one.
Anything to save time.
Save it a little bit of time and save it so that you don't have to do just one strip in your hoop.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's genius.
Okay.
I love coming here with you.
You're awesome, Kyle. I so enjoy doing this with you. It's been so fun.
It's been
So,
amazing.
I mean, once you've done it, then let's take a look at your strips, and here's
mine might look a little crooked.
Yeah, it's all good. Now, you must have done yours in a smaller hoop.
I did.
Okay.
I did.
I did mine in a larger hoop.
Look at you. Oh, I always put them upside down. I'm used to the
That's
old
okay.
cameras.
So there you go.
Nice. But the design is the same size.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly the same. So now we have our 3 strips and they're set together and we're ready to go.
Nice. But then on the back, it'll show us where we're going to sew later on.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm not going to worry about them
When
then.
we sew, we're just going to leave them just like that.
Yep.
Okay.
3 of them. Any questions?
Are there any more questions as far as this goes? I'm just going to let this finish stitching out because those are some strips that we're going to need to use for our quilts, and we're ready to go.
Yeah, then next month.
All right. So
You know what next month is? I have not seen it.
I have, but I can't remember. Oh my gosh.
It's just as well you can't remember.
I cannot remember. I would even give you a little bit of a hint. And yeah, Nanette says in the South it's not the grocery cart, it's a buggy. Yeah.
I think they say that in the North.
Yeah, and well, another thing is with Canada and their little bit of their accent that they have. My daughter, when she very first moved up there, she went to the store. I think I've told this story before, but anyway, she went to the store, and the lady looked at her and she says, "Would you like the bag?" Tara goes,
What?
"What? No, I have money. I can pay for it."
A bag.
And the lady goes, "No, you want a bag?" She's like, no, I'm okay." So she didn't put her stuff in a bag. And Tara goes, "Can I have a bag, please?"
I asked you twice.
Yeah. Anyway, so she
That's
learned
awesome.
real quickly
Yeah.
about the difference there, because every now and again I'll hear those little bit of twinges of
Did she
different.
pick it all up too?
She did. It took her a while, but yeah, she learned really quickly. She's been up there now for over 20 years, and
Oh,
so
well, yeah.
it's natural for her. And and the other difference too is first grade, second grade, third grade. They call it grade 1, grade 2,
Oh,
grade 3. So and I said to my little grandson, he just got out of kindergarten, and I said, "So you're going to first grade?" He goes, "I'm going grade 1." Grade 1, Nana. I'm like, "Okay, Cash."
Say it right.
Okay, Cash, the same thing. First grade. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been fun. I hope.
Yeah.
At the time, Denise, no, she did not have to pay for the bag.
Now.
But now she does. In fact, they don't even have options. You have to buy the bags up there. So every time I go up there, I have to make sure and take she has a pile.
Yeah.
And I just take a pile.
Oh,
of
yeah, I
grocery
have them in the
with-
back of the car and forget them.
Yes. And we should do that.
Yes, we should.
Yeah, definitely.
woulda,
We
coulda.
should be doing that here in the States too. But anyway, thank you so much. We will see you in August. It's been fun.
August?
And I know.
It is July.
It is July.
Wow.
It is July the 1st, and we have 31 more days
Okay,
until we
good.
do this
Phew.
again.
Phew. I'll get it done.
Okay. Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone, and we shall see you again later.
Thanks, Sandra, for all the tips.
You got it.